Welcome to our weekly gathering, Leadership for the Future. Warrior Leader Sage. This is episode number 55. Can you believe it? For those of you who have been around since the inception, first of all, I'm incredibly grateful to you for doing that. And if you're joining us for the first time, not to worry, you've missed 54 episodes, but I got you covered. All you have to do is go to jamesray.com/live-cast, and we have them all in a library there, absolutely free for you to check out and catch up. And I think you're going to want to do that. So every single week we get together here, same time, same place, simultaneously on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and we talk about leadership. And I think it's really an important time in our world history where we need to, you need to, stop looking for leaders and choose to become a leader. You with me? Now, while we talk about a couple of housekeeping items, make sure if you're on Facebook to weigh in down below and tell me who you are and where you're from. I always enjoy looking at those. I appreciate it as this community grows around the world. You know, if you're on Twitter, I would greatly appreciate if this is making an impact on you that you retweet and share with those people who follow you. On Instagram, please invite Regram and invite others to join in this conversation in a world that so desperately needs true leadership. Not a title, not a position, not a bunch of followers, not a bunch of popularity, not fame, not fortune, but leadership. Now, I'm not suggesting that all of those things are never present in a true leader, but what I am absolutely certain of, and I think you will agree, is that those do not define true leadership. There are many people in today's world who have a title, who have a position, and I don't think you, like me, would consider them to be true leaders. Am I right? And so there's never been a time in our history, in my opinion, where we needed it more than we need it today. We need to take it back. We need to take the power back, and we need to bring this world forward. So before I get on a roll, which you can tell I'm passionate about this topic, let me just weigh in real quickly and give out my deepest gratitude for those of you on Facebook who continually share. That button is right down here, as you know, and help me help you help those that you love and care about. So just hit that share button. Again, on Instagram, you can regram, you can invite. On Twitter, please retweet. But for Facebook, I have a record of those individuals, and I want to just say thank you to you, Marlene Vicari. I think that's a new name this week. Thank you, Marlene, for sharing. It means a lot to me. Darlene Smith, Tracy Bauer, We Are All One, Paul Campbell, Rob Genius, Tommy Allen Rains. Hey, you know, with a name like Genius, you better do something big, buddy, all right? What a great name. Tommy Allen Rains, Jyoti Aurora, Don Haubauer. I think that's a new name too. Thank you, Don. Lana Monday, Nancy Winters, the Anthony Rogers twins, always sharing, always here. I think Anthony told me he's on a plane right now from the UK to the United States. So, Anthony, I know you're gonna weigh in on the replay. Andrew, I hope you're holding down the fort there in the UK. Thanks for sharing. Jay Lee, you're becoming consistent, man, and I really appreciate that. Russ Litow, Christine Bronca, Pauline Lund, Nora Jones. Keep moving the sign up, please. Heidi Rainman, Pranav Hanreo, Nicola Jenkins. Thank you so much for sharing. Again, if you're on Facebook, you can, if you need additional clarification, you need to flesh something out, put it down below, and I always come back after the fact. And I enjoy doing that, and I will answer your questions, and I will flesh out the topics if you need more clarification. Okay, so let's get into episode number 55. It's hard for me to believe we've been doing this for 55 weeks in a row. Time flies when you're doing something big. Now, if you know what's going on in our world right now, how could you not? Then it's really somewhat saddening, isn't it? I mean, we at this point, and it's frightening, quite frankly, at this point in our world history, we should have evolved to a point, in my opinion, where we are coming more and more together versus becoming more and more divided. We should be talking more about tearing down walls and building greatness and going after something meaningful than building walls and building division. You agree with me? If you agree with me, just please comment. Just let me know that I'm talking to you and that you're in agreement with me on this. I believe we should be in a different place in our world, and in the words of the brilliant words of a brilliant leader, Martin Luther King, hate cannot drive out hate. Hate can't drive out hate. Only love can do that, he told us. I think we should listen. King knew it, others knew it, and hopefully you know it as well. We need leaders right now in this world. And I'm going to ask you, when would now be the time to stop looking for one and become one? Because, and let me help you, because whether you're consciously aware of it or not, you were born to be a leader. Now, there's no such thing as a born leader, because leadership is only built. It's built through tests and trials and being in the arena of life. It's built through life experiences. It's built through doing the hard things. But you were born to greatness. You were born to be a leader. And you've been conditioned into mediocrity. And that's sad, because so many times, if you're not careful, you've bought into your conditioning to start looking outside of you for some governmental official or some new president or some new prime minister or some new Congress or some new somebody or some new job or some new relationship or some new amount of money or some new bank account to create your life for you. It's not going to happen. Leadership starts now. Are you with me on this? Leadership starts now. And let me ask you, do you ever feel like there's something deep inside that is calling you, that is compelling you to do something bigger, better, greater, and yet something is also holding you back? Do you ever have that feeling? That something is holding you back, like there's a governor on your accelerator, and you don't know what it is. Well, I know what it is. Do you ever ask yourself how you will be remembered when you leave this life? You're going to leave. Even if you live to 125, which I'm working to do, and I'm doing all the right things to live as long as I can, because I think we have a responsibility to do that. It takes a long time to wake up and become a true leader. And what happens for most is it takes all that time to begin to wake up, and then their body's wearing out and they start to check out. What a waste. What a waste. But I digress. Do you ever feel like there's something inside of you that is compelling you to something greater, to really lead your own life in new ways, to lead even a business, or to contribute? Do you ever think about how you will be remembered and what you will leave behind? What you can say, I contributed that to life, to the world, to others. You see, you've got to break the chains of mass mediocrity. Remember, you were born into greatness. You've been conditioned into mediocrity. You've got to break the chains of mass mediocrity. You've got to get out of the small thinking. You've got to break the chains of hatred and divisiveness. You've got to break the chains of self-doubt and limitation and hesitation. It's time, maybe past time, to take your power back, to stop looking for leaders and to become a leader. I'm looking for leaders. I'm becoming a leader, but I'm also looking for those who are becoming leaders, because this world needs it now, maybe more than ever. We used to think about great things. There's a few people, but now we're thinking about such mundane things. Well, let's have a better economy. Let's make some more money. Let's have less taxes. Seriously, that's what we're going to live our life for? There's got to be more to life than that. It's got to be more than economics. I'm not here to tell you that economics is not a part of it. Of course it is. But it's got to be more than that. Are you with me on this? We're caught up in pettiness. Oh, I want more lifestyle. What the hell does that mean? I want more time off. I'm working too long. I want to set up something and have a lifetime residual so I can kick back and drink margaritas. Bullshit. You don't want that. And there's research behind it. This is not just my idea. There's research upon research upon research I could tell you, and I'm not going to because I'm already behind time. What else is new? But you can tell I'm passionate about this because you are here to do something fulfilling. You're here to do something great, and research proves that you are truly and only fulfilled when you're going after something great and you're leading your own life in a direction that's meaningful. Not when you're sitting on the beach, kicking back with your heels up. That's a lie that you've been sold. It's time to take your power back. Let me help you. Even if you think you're doing really well right now, even if you say, James, I know what my purpose is, and I'm living it, you still know. You know deep down inside that there's more to life and more to your business than what you're doing right now. You're just getting started. You haven't even hit stride. I don't care how successful you are. I don't care how many multiple millions your business is making and how many multiple millions of lives that your business is touching. You're just getting started. You're just getting started. There's 7 billion people on this planet. You haven't even scratched the surface of what you're capable of doing. And there's more. And here's the thing. I'm as you can tell, I'm fired up about this. I'm passionate about this. Now more than ever, we need leaders in life and business. You need to become a leader. Let me help you. Here's what I'm going to do. There's a link right above my head here on Facebook. Let me and my team give you a free leadership and performance coaching session. It's a $500 value. Just click the link. If you're on Instagram, go to my bio. The link is there. If you're on Twitter, it's right above my head. Let me and my team help you because I'm fired up about this, and I think you can tell. A $500 coaching, absolutely free. You click the link and you go, and this is just for those of you who tune in to Leadership for the Future. This is my gift to you. You'll go right to a questionnaire that'll ask you maybe how many questions, Bear? 5? Maybe 5 questions. And the only reason we do that is so we know that when we get on the phone with you, we know exactly where to start and how to make the most of our time together. And it doesn't matter if you're from around the world because we have people from all over the world who tune in to Leadership for the Future because we have Skype and we have worldwide conferencing and we have all kinds of ways that we can connect with you live. And so just click the link. This is my gift to you and get on the calendar and let's become a leader together. Let's change the world together. Let's get the job done. Let's bring out the greatness within you. Let me and my team help you remove the blocks and the limitations, either spiritually, mentally, emotionally, or physically, that are holding you back and keeping you limited in some way, shape, or fashion. You see, there's no greater drive for the true leader than to give your all, every single thing you have, for something meaningful, something that contributes, something that leaves a lasting legacy. And you know what? So many times people say to me, well, James, my legacy are my kids. With all due respect, your legacy is not your kids. Your kids have their own legacy. You contribute to your kids, but you did not come here just to give your kids the ability to leave a legacy. You came here for a special purpose yourself. God gave you unique gifts and genius, and you've got to use those as well. You get me here. I'm not disregarding being a parent. I'm really not. But your legacy is not your kids. You have your own legacy, something that you are supposed to contribute, some way to leave your mark, no matter how small or large, upon this planet when you leave. To be a leader. Are you ready? It's time to be a leader. And what we're going to talk about today here seems kind of counterintuitive. I mean, episode number 55, if you saw it advertised, it says true leaders are selfless. Now don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that we don't take care of ourselves. Of course we do, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can never take care of anyone else. If you don't have enough fuel in your own tank, you're not going to go very far. It's not, being selfless is not about disregarding yourself. Not in the least. Let me explain to you what it means here. But first, let me tell you what I know from my own life experience and my own research with over 1 million people from 143 different countries around the world, as well as research done by Fortune magazine and many others. I'll come back to that in a moment. Here's what leadership is not in both life and business. Leaders in both life and business, number one, do not do what they do just for the money. No exception. No exception. Not true leaders. Not true leaders. You look at anyone who is obsessed with money and they're not truly on point and purpose. They really don't get it yet. Now, please understand, I'm not saying money isn't present. Of course it is. And yet that's not why they do what they do. You really think that Nelson Mandela did what he did for money? I don't think so. I don't think so. You think JFK or Martin Luther King did what they did for money? You think Thomas Jefferson? You think, I could give you so many examples. It's not just for the money. Number two, they don't do what they do for the applause or attention. Now, it doesn't mean they don't appreciate it, right? Yeah, well, of course they probably appreciate it, but that's not why they do what they do. Not a true leader. Number three, they don't do it to become famous. Actually, for many true leaders, including me, fame is a bitch. All right? Brad Pitt said fame is a bitch, and I agree with him. I agree with him. All right? They don't do it to become famous. You look at anybody who's wanting attention and wanting applause and wanting to be famous, they're not on point and purpose. They're just not. The true leader, let's talk about why they do what they do. Why they do what they do. You follow that? Number one, they care deeply. They care deeply about something that's meaningful. Number two, they want to contribute and provide value to other people's lives. You know, if Elon Musk did what he did for the money or for the applause, he would have stopped at PayPal. He came out of PayPal with more millions than he could ever spend in a lifetime. And he turned right around, invested every single dime back into SpaceX and Tesla. Because when you ask Elon Musk why he's doing what he's doing, he says, I'm here to save humanity. Wow. They care deeply. They want to contribute and provide value. And number three, they want to leave a legacy. Not for applause, not for ego, but a legacy that says I contributed something that contributes to the lives of future generations in a positive way. You know, here's a great question of leadership. I hadn't planned on sharing this with you today, but this is what I ask myself every single day. Not what I can do today to make a positive impact, but what can I do today that can make a positive impact 500 years from today? Even 50 years from today. Big difference. That's a legacy. You know, and if you know anything about my life has been challenging, to say the least. And that's an understatement, right? Show me a hero and I'll show you a tragedy. because tragedies build heroes. Difficult times build leaders. And this is really, life can often be tough. Am I right? Life can be tough. And there's not a lot of people in personal and spiritual development telling you life can be tough and fame is a bitch and things are hard. They're not telling you that. But, I can't tell you anything but the truth, because when I tell you the truth, it prepares you to deal with and overcome the challenges of the truth. Are you with me on this? Life can be tough. Here's something else. Business can be tougher. We live in this age of romantic entrepreneurism. I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to be an internet entrepreneur, whatever the hell that means. Any entrepreneur I've ever met didn't want to be an internet entrepreneur. They just wanted to be an entrepreneur. The internet is a tool to use in part of the entrepreneurial package. And the only reason people want to be a, quote, internet entrepreneur is because they want to sit on their lazy ass and click a mouse and do nothing. Oh, I can work from home and work a couple hours and have a lifetime residual. No, wrong. And if you're not in the right group here, then God bless you. Come back when you realize I'm right. I'll still be here, telling you the truth and telling you how to overcome the challenges of the truth, because it can be tough. And business can be tougher. And what must you do? You must get stronger. You must get wiser. You must get more self-aware. You must work harder on yourself than you do on your business. Harder on yourself than you do on anything else. Because for your business to grow, you must grow. For your leadership capabilities to grow, you must grow. Because it's all a reflection of you. Does that make sense to you? Let me tell you, again, my life's been challenging. If it were not for a deep clarity of my purpose and a deep drive to do something positive and meaningful and to leave a legacy and to make an impact and to contribute in every way that I can, I would have cashed in my chips a long time ago. I really would have. Because, man, if you know anything about the last 8 years of my life, 9 years of my life, it's been a bitch. And there's been many days when I wanted to cash in my chips and say, forget this. My purpose won't allow it. How about yours? You see, leaders are selfless. I'm building this concept here. They're willing to give themselves to something that's hard, that's something that's uncomfortable, but something that's so much more grand, so much grander than their own creature comforts or personal needs. Leaders never ask anyone else to do what they haven't done themselves. And this is really, really critical in today's world. Because true leadership, please get this. If you're taking notes, I hope you are. We've talked about this before. It engages the right brain by taking handwritten notes. If you're taking notes, put this in your notes. True leadership is not what you study. It's what you do and the life experiences that you have. And this is a huge distinction in today's world, because there's so many people going, oh, I read a book, or I went to a workshop and now I'm an expert. I took an online course, now I'm a leader. Wrong. You're not a leader, you're not an expert. There's only one way you can become a true leader and an expert. That's to get into the arena, to do the battle, to get the scars, to fight the good fight, day after day after day after day, when you feel like you don't want to, when you feel like you can't. That's what makes a true leader. That kind of commitment. Don't fool yourself, please. Don't fool yourself. True leadership is about service. Why is it selfless? Because it's about service. It's about serving other people. It's not about having people follow you and give you accolades and applause. It's about service. It's about serving other people. It's providing value to other people in some way, shape, or fashion. There's so many ways to do that. It's about service to your team members. You know, if you're an entrepreneur today and you have team members, the leader is the greatest servant. Service to the team members. Not to be served, but to serve. And to recognize that those team members are the only way that you provide value in greater and greater scale. Does that make sense to you? As you grow your business and the value you provide, you're going to have help. We all need help. And it's about serving those that, I don't care if you're paying them. It doesn't matter if you pay them. They can get paid anywhere. You can pay for hands. You can't pay for heart. Big difference. Let me tell you how leaders work with their teams. True leaders take all the blame when things go wrong. They own it. They take all the blame. And when things go right, they give all the praise to others. Do you know a leader like that? You know, I remember in 2009, my team and I were greatly honored. We were inducted into the Inc. 500 as one of the fastest growing, most successful companies in the United States in 2009. And Inc. magazine interviewed me because I was a CEO of the company. And they said, James, how did you do it? And I instantly replied, I didn't do it. My team did it. And I meant that. Now, of course, I chose my team. Of course, I developed my team. But my team is the one that got the job done. True leaders give praise. You know, Ronald Reagan said once, there's no end to what we can accomplish when we don't care who gets the praise. Right? Lacking in many ways in today's world. Am I right? True leaders lead the charge. Remember, they never ask anyone else to do what they haven't done themselves. They don't go out and say, oh, you got to hire a coach when they don't have a coach. They got to go, oh, you got to invest in yourself and you got to get into the arena of life when they're reading books and that's all they're doing. No, that's an incongruity. That will never be blessed. True leaders lead the charge. I mean, look back in history to the great Spartan leaders like Leonidas at Thermopylae and Alexander the Great. And if you study history, you'll see they always led the charge. Always led the charge. They didn't send everyone else into battle and keep themselves back and safe. Yes, don't get me wrong. There's times for the leader to not be at the tip of the spear in battle, possibly. But he's never ever disengaged. She's never ever disengaged because they're not at the tip of the spear because they're strategically doing something else that is more leveraged. They're never disengaged. They're always fully engaged. The true leader comes earlier and stays longer. They don't go on vacation and expect their team to take care of everything so they can kick back. That's not a true leader. If they're not leading the charge physically, it's only because they're fulfilling a higher, bigger role that is necessary to win the race. Does that make sense to you? They're always available. True leaders are always available. They're always on, even when on, quote, vacation. You know, I remember when I used to I used to travel a lot more than I do now. And I would go to Paris. And I would, want to go to the Louvre and to Rodin's garden and go to great places of art, which I think is incredible for all of us to do. It moves the soul. But I didn't disengage. Never. I went to Egypt and I studied, the mysteries in Egypt and the Great Pyramid and at the Sphinx. But I was always still engaged. Every morning I was checking in. Every day my team could get a hold of me. Every day I was talking to them. Why? Because I care. Because we're doing something grand, something meaningful. No true leader is ever totally absent and disengaged. They're just not. Because he or she is willing to partake in what I call the supreme sacrifice. Oh, sacrifice. I don't know. I don't like that word, James. Most people don't. Let's please remember, if you trace the word back to its origin, sacrifice means to make sacred. The true meaning of sacrifice is to make sacred. And true leaders participate in the supreme sacrifice. What is that? It's the subjugating of their small, personal, ego needs and creature comforts to something much larger than themselves. It's not about, I've got the plane and I got the Bentley and I got the biggest bank account. It's not about, I got the comfort and the biggest house and the biggest this and the biggest that. No, it's about, Stephen Jobs. I've used this example so many times, but it's so powerful. He was a billionaire because of his vision, because of his commitment, and he didn't even have furniture in his house. And they asked him why. He said, why do I need it? I'm never there. I'm building my vision. They subjugate their own personal, small needs and creature comforts to something much grander. Why? Because they've got something big to do. They've got too much to accomplish to be caught up in the mundane and the pettiness. This is the true selflessness that we're discussing. Is this clicking for you? And if this does not resonate with you, then I can't help you. As much as I would love to help you, I can't help you, not yet. If it is resonating with you, then you're in the right place at the right time, and I can help you, and I will help you, and I'll do everything within my power. Because that's what we need to get back. We need to get out of our damn head and science and get into our heart. Not to say that science isn't necessary. Of course it is. Science gives us facts, but heart gives us purpose and meaning. She who makes the supreme sacrifice does this willingly. Willingly. They don't complain. You won't hear a true leader saying, I've got too much to do, I'm too tired, I need a break, I need this, I need that. Even though they might feel that way. I feel that way a lot. That's human. But you won't hear them moaning and complaining about it because they got too much to do. They're subjugating those small, lower self-needs to something bigger. They willingly do whatever it takes because they know they must accomplish what they're here to accomplish. Let's talk about research from Fortune magazine real quickly. Fortune magazine years ago revealed that the wealthiest people that they surveyed and studied, including Buffett, Gates, Winfrey, and many, many more, were not involved in their businesses just for the money. We got it all wrong. Who are you listening to? What are you buying into? You see, meaning must come first and money follows. You see, Buffett and Gates and Winfrey and Jobs and many, many more. Adelson, I'll talk about him in a second, are following the meaning and the mission. And the money came as a byproduct of them becoming excellent, masterful at their meaning and mission. Not the other way around. When you hear someone who is obsessed with money, you know they're not a true leader. They're just not. And it's a huge problem in today's world. It just is. We've degraded from great causes and great callings in the past to conversations about jobs and taxes and building walls and arguments that get us nowhere. And that's why 71% of the people surveyed are miserable and disengaged in their work. Where are the leaders? Where are they? Stop looking for them and start becoming one. It starts with you. It starts with you. You see, my personal experience proves what Fortune found as well. You know, I was really blessed. I judged the Miss America contest in 2008. That was the story I could tell you. For you guys, it wasn't nearly as fun as I thought it was going to be, and it's not nearly as fun as you think it might have been. It wasn't fun really at all. But nonetheless, I judged the Miss America contest, and the greatest thing that came out of that was I got to have dinner for 2 hours with Sheldon Adelson in the top of one of his hotels in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I got to interview him and probe his mind and converse with him as I always do. He sat right to my left. And in case you don't know who Sheldon Adelson is, he's one of the top 10 richest men in the world. He's worth, last I checked, almost $35 billion. Now, just to put that in perspective, that's over 4 times more than Donald Trump and Richard Branson combined. Okay? This guy's got a buck or two. All right? He's one of the top 10 in the world. And man, was I so excited to talk to him about what inspired him, what drove him, what motivated him, because he didn't even make his money until he was way into midlife. Let that be an inspiration for you if you find your purpose, because I asked him, Sheldon, what do you attribute your success to? What do you think are the most important factors? And I won't give you the whole conversation because it was 2 hours long, but I can promise you this, his answers had nothing to do with money motivation. Nothing. It was all about finding your gifts, what I call your unique genius, defining your purpose, and work ethic, giving everything to it, working really hard. So, leadership for the future is selfless. They don't think about what can I get. They ask, what can I give? What can I give? Let me give you 5 great questions to ask and answer around great leadership. You don't want to write these down. Just as we wrap up here. Number 1, what are my unique gifts? Remember, Adelson, his conversation with me was all about finding his unique gifts, and he didn't find them until later in life. So it's never too late. It's never too late to find your unique gifts and put them into play. Number 2, what purpose am I here to fulfill? You know, this is the number 1 question surveys that my company has taken, as well as my personal interaction with people from all over the world who are unclear on their purpose. Get clear on your purpose, clarity of purpose. Let me help you. We'll help you in that free coaching session to get real clear on what your gifts are and what your purpose are so that you can start to rock it and live a fulfilling life. Number 3, how can I provide tremendous value in a way that no one else does? You get the right answer to that one, you start to own a market. Number 4, realizing that I'm giving my life for something. Now look, we're all redeeming our life for something. Every single day, you're trading your life for something. If you have a job that you hate, you're trading 8 to 10 hours of your life every single day, of your life, to do something that you hate that has no meaning for you. You're redeeming the coupon that says my life every day to watch 4 hours of television. You're redeeming the coupon of your life to binge on House of Cards. What's the ROI on that? We're all trading our life for something. So realizing that, we're on question number 4. Am I giving my life for something that's worthy of giving my life for? Because once it's gone, it ain't coming back. Tick-tock. And question number 5. Am I willing, and there's no value in lying to yourself, am I willing to make the supreme sacrifice to make it sacred to God and to life itself by offering up my life to God, to the universe, to life itself? Am I willing to make the supreme sacrifice? To be uncomfortable, to go without sleep, to go longer than I feel like going, to have more patience and perseverance and grit, to give every single thing within me, every fiber of my being, to work harder on me than I do on my business or my job. Am I willing to make that sacrifice? Am I willing to make the supreme sacrifice to become more self-aware? That's a tough one. That's a big job in and of itself. Am I willing to make the supreme sacrifice to awaken in a world that's sleeping? Am I willing to make the supreme sacrifice to go to bed every single night exhausted? If I don't go to bed exhausted, I got more to give. I want to go to bed exhausted, and yet can I still be inspired to get up and do it again and again and again and again tomorrow and the day after for the rest of my days? To make, in the words of Jobs, my dent in the universe. Be selfless. Be selfless. Give yourself fully and completely to a calling and a cause, which means you have to find it. I can help you with that. My team and I want to help you with that. Give yourself fully and completely, even when it's hard and even when it's uncomfortable. Then will you be a true leader. And then will you change the world? Look, I want to appreciate you for being here. I appreciate your shares. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your time. It means the world to me that you care enough to be here and share this 40 minutes or 45 minutes, whatever's been with me. Click the link above and fill out the quick questionnaire. You'll go straight to the calendar. You can schedule your date. I'm giving you a free leadership and performance coaching session with me and my team, a $500 value, because I want to help you perform at your potential. I want to help you become the leader that is just waiting to burst forth from within you. Until we speak again, as always, same time, same place here next week. Stay awake, love life, and be epic.